Hi, my name is Jutimbe. I'll be speaking for the negative on the prompt, social media does more harm than good. For this speech, my goal is to convince you why social media has caused more good than harm. Today, I'll be referencing and speaking about Bethany Pope's affirmation speech. First and foremost, I want to refresh your memory on two of my definitions from my previous speech. The first one being harm, which is to have an adverse effect on, and the second being self-esteem, which is the confidence in one's own worth or abilities, or in other words, self-respect. In Bethany's speech, I believe that her definitions were accurate. She defined both cyberbullying and social media very well. However, I did have a problem with her definition of social media, so specifically the part about websites and applications. This is where her speech starts to fall apart, because as she talks about social media, it implies that only the main applications such as Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and Twitter are affected here. But there are far more, as I will touch on further into my presentation. She talks about her criteria, which was about how social media can be an outlet for cyberbullying and also create a false sense of reality. I do not believe that this statement is true, and I will be providing why in my two counter contentions. The first one being the restrictions on social media apps, and the second one being connectivity and how social media has provided that for us. In my first contention, I will be discussing the different restrictions on social media apps, more specifically the ones set in place by Instagram. On Instagram's terms and conditions, there is a section where it explicitly states that a user has to be at least 13 to join, but in some jurisdictions, this age may be raised. So this means that the many kids under the age of 13 who download social media to follow the various celebrities or content creators are also the ones in the highest demographic most susceptible to cyberbullying. This is because they have never been taught how to rightfully use social media. They go into the app and press a few buttons, neglecting to read the terms and conditions, but go on to click the box reading I agree, and now they have a fully functioning account. Well, this is bad because they do not fully know what they are getting into. After reading the terms and conditions, they can have a better understanding of what social media has to offer, which informs them how they could use it safely or opt not to use it in general, which prevents cyberbullying in the future. Not only does Instagram have an age restriction, but also they have a report button that could lead to other accounts who do the cyberbullying to be removed from the app in total. However, not many people report accounts, which leads to cyberbullying being ultimately very high. But this issue can be resolved in one of two ways. One, if people could be more respectful, or two, if people could use the report button on either posts or people that are harassing them. In Bethany's speech, she talks about how people can post without the other person's consent. However, this is easily fixable by reporting the content posted. Also, in her speech, she talked about, in her first contention, how cyberbullying makes social media harmful. But this is not true because cyberbullying is not only found in social media, but in a variety of different platforms. The most significant outlets being online gaming, texting, or online classrooms. We all realize that cyberbullying is a significant problem in this technology-heavy society, but what Bethany failed to mention in her speech is the age group of kids who get bullied the most. According to ComProtect.com, 59.9% of parents with children's ages 14 to 18 reported their child being bullied, compared to the 56.4% of ages 11 to 13 and the 54.3% of ages 19 and older. What this statistic shows is that, in essence, the teens aged 14 to 18 are likely to report to their parents, but also receive the highest amount of cyberbullying, and most of these kids are either at school or playing games, not scrolling through social media. Moving on to my second contention, which is that the various social media outlets connect us all, and I will describe how they have done that in this contention. In this very unprecedented and unpredictable time, social media has always been there. In many ways, it has become many people's news or entertainment source. According to Forbes.com, a Pew Research Center report that 55% of US adults now get their news from social media either often or sometimes, an 8% increase from last year. About 3 in 10, 28%, said they get their news often, and up to 20% in 2018. This shows that social media has become the fastest information spreader among other media outlets. This also allows people to connect to the outside world while being safe in their homes. For many people, social media has become the way to meet people from other counties, states, or countries. This has brought the world together in an otherwise divided society. In Bethany's speech, she talked about how people only want to seem glamorous on social media, even though this is not true. And this is true in some instances. Many people have talked and posted about their own weight loss journey, whilst encouraging others to do the same. Posting about their weight loss journey or change of eating habits creates a positive environment for people to go to when they're feeling at their lowest. Social media also provides a place where small companies can reach out to a larger audience, from fundraising events to social awareness. Social media has become a prominent source of information. Many people think that social media being only Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, etc., but it also includes FaceTime, Zoom, YouTube, email, and texting. All of these platforms are essential in connecting to loved ones. So with this, I urge you to side with the negative and say that social media has caused more good than harm in our society. Thank you.